What's going on, Bills Mafia? I'm your boy TG. This is my boy Nature Boy. Welcome to Top Billing. But before we get started, man, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let you know we're about to drop another show. All right, so we've been talking about we're gonna do the schedule for a couple of shows, but it's just a lot of juicy things been going on. You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting for the D-Hop. The where see, I would say addition, but you know, we looking for the D-Hop. You know, see whenever he decides to sign with a team, and you know, we kind of leave the door open to see if he signs with us.
Right.
But you know, it hasn't happened yet. You know, the party must go on. But like I said, we're gonna do the schedule, and then you know, this comes up. You know what I'm saying? And another situation comes up. But before we get in that situation, shout out to my boy, you know, Ronald Blanchet. You know what I'm saying? He helps pieces everything together, man.
Oh yeah. He the
he
glue that make this work.
Absolutely, man. You know, so he's the mastermind behind our videos.
Oh yeah.
You know, my man does, you know, media work, you know, cars, banners, all kind of stuff, man. My guy's a genius. So check him out, you know, on Blanchet Studios. You know, go to a website. You know, you guys looking for somebody to do editing, you know, business cards, flyers, you know, he help design school, what you call those, school, the big school designs.
Yeah. I need some of logo.
Yeah, logo. Thank you so much. Yeah, logo. And you know, he does all that stuff, man. So hit him up, Blanchet Studios, you know, and just hit him up. Also, you know, man, shout out to our subscribers, man. You know, I know we don't have like 1.9K or anything, but you know, I'm grateful for, you know, people who tune in, and you know, hope you guys continue to like, share, and you know, just like I said, you know, just you know, enjoy the ride. You know, that we're on.
I hope everybody find us entertaining. I hope y'all find us knowledgeable. You know, hope y'all learn a little bit when y'all listen, you know. But most of all, we love the support that we get from anybody, you know. And you know, shouts out to y'all as well, man. We love our subscribers.
Yeah, man, straight up. Every last one of you. All right. So, you know, like I said, man, you know, we had, you know, I think the elephant in the room was, you know, and like I said, man, a lot of this is media speculation, bro. Like, you know, you look at, let's go back to last OTAs, and I think Diggs was only here for like, was he here for a week or like for a few days?
Yeah, I know he missed a couple days last year too.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he was only there for like a week. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you know, like I said, he showed his face and then he dipped. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing about that. You know, just like, hey, you know what? You know, everybody's together, the band's together, and you know, gonna get the thing rolling. But I'm still gonna dip out early though. You know, nobody's saying anything about that. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what this stuff stems from, you know, is from last season's exit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but before we get on that exit, people have to understand why Stefon Diggs is frustrated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, call him cryptic, call it, you know, call him negative, call him dramatic. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't really fault somebody on how they handle certain situations. Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying?
Losing.
And especially losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to his probably to his frustration, you know, the guy put his heart and soul in the game. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we can't continue to take those L's, man. Like, we have to come up with a solution to make sure that we actually prepare our team to the next level. Like, how many years are we going to continue to preach playoff caliber. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I know.
and then falls short because of lack of execution,
You see what I'm saying? So that's
or just plain up not showing up.
well. I think to your point, you had two good points though. You know what I'm saying? So like the first thing is the lack of execution, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know good and well 13-3, that's just a number. Having a number 2 offense with total yards, those are numbers. We seen ourselves like, yo, man, like we play down competition sometimes, a lot of times, and then like instead of putting our foot on the opponent's throat,
Right.
we get complacent, we get okay with a lack of execution. You know, it's just like, you know, typical take your foot off the gas,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
or just flat out lack of execution.
Yep.
So that's to your point, the first thing, and then showing up.
Right.
Showing up. Like,
Right.
guys, like we're on a mission. Like
Like
we
to me,
have
like to me, I see Josh Allen a lot of times, depending on who we're playing. It's almost like he don't feel like he have to give 100% effort. Like, okay, I feel like we this much better than them, and then next thing you know, we're winning like 17-13, or we're losing 9-6. You know, something like that, because you can clearly see that he's not into that game because it's not the Chiefs, or it's not, you know, some big team in prime time, you know, and that frustrates me a lot, because those are the games that we're supposed to truly dominate in.
Yeah. And he's not the only one. You know what I'm saying? And if he honestly is like that, then, you know, again, it's just one of those things that he has to grow up on, man, like mature on, because a lot of people and I know I can say football because that's what I mainly played. People get complacent a lot of times, and you would think that at a professional level that these guys think differently, but you know, to your point, on many occasions, and I can only speak for the Bills fans because, you know, I'm sure it happens on other teams, but this is the main team I'm watching, and we have shown that we have gotten complacent, you know, with a league or with a team. You know what I'm saying? Think about what happened with Atlanta Falcons last season. Not this past season, but 2 seasons ago with Matt Ryan. We left that's a terrible football team at that time. That was a very terrible, but they came to play us. And we had the capabilities of giving them a very strong L, like majority of the teams did that year. But we kept them in the game, and we were just playing down to their level. So that's, again, to your point. You know what I'm saying? Not playing up. You know, and I think that's part of the frustration that Dig had, because, you know, call it what you want, man, as far as like our team being emotionally drained coming into that Bengals game. Call it what you want, man. I can't really speculate on that because they've been through a lot more than just the Bengals game. That was probably like the cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, bro, we still playing. Like, we living to see another week. A lot of other teams would love to be in our situation. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I'm not gonna pity pat it around with, well, you know, everybody deals with things differently, and you guys are pros, man. You guys are pros, you know.
Yeah,
and
you get a healthy paycheck every Tuesday to get over those things, you know.
Hell, yeah,
you know, I feel like in that Bengals game, if the other 53 or the other 52 came in with the same mentality that Steph Diggs did, it would have been a different outcome. It would have. That man came in to play. He came in regardless what was going on off the field. off the sidelines. He came into that game ready to play, and it
Yeah.
showed. He was dominating his routes. He was getting open, and then Josh was just missing him. Josh wouldn't put it up to and that game was frustrating to watch, man.
Well, a lot of times he didn't have time. Like,
The
just seemed
offensive
like
line was atrocious.
Atrocious. Like, I've seen, if you even look, you can just look at the highlights and you can just see how soon as you say hike, they are already in the backfield.
Yep.
And
At
that's
least two.
and that's our interior line.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
they stunted.
Reader and them boys, they ate that night. Them boys ate that night.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just on Josh. Like, you see it in Josh, but like you can definitely see our offensive line didn't execute. We can, of course, everybody's going to badge Roger Stafford, whatever his name is, but if everybody on that line play a role, bro. Like,
yeah,
they got a Pro Bowl nod, but at the end of the day, like, the execution part of it, it was very evident.
Yeah, I think Stefon was like the ninth reserve they was down to. I think he was the last guard in the AFC that even wanted to play. That's the only reason he got in. And I'm gonna tell you like this, to be perfectly honest with you, Deion Dawkins didn't have all that great a season himself.
He did.
Like, compared to the 2 seasons beforehand, maybe even the past 3 seasons, he had a shit season. When it came up to what his standards should be.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody played a role in the lack of execution. Like, and we're just talking about offense,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So but since we're talking about Diggs in particular, that part of it, he had to be reassured by his leadership team. This is my opinion on it. Like, he had to be reassured by his leadership team that they have a different type of plan going into this coming up season. Like, he almost want to be reassured that they have the same type of mindset as he did. I don't know what was said again. I'm sure, he got everything that he needed to get out during that meeting, and I just feel like it was necessary. People can say what they want to say about it. Like, I actually commend this situation because, when you look at, the teams, at certain teams, and, like, you look at the Chiefs, you probably a lot of Chiefs don't have no problem. They had some problems too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah, some people complaining about Bieniemy and things like that, but people have their problems. Now, this particular situation, at least for me, and probably a lot of other people, and I know other people feel differently. This actually shows how this is an actual family. Like, all families deal with certain situations. And everybody, let's say, you got kids, I got kids, and each one of them are different.
Yep.
And just because, one is all in the books and the other one is just funny, and then the other one is a little discombobulated. So, but you still tolerate the discombobulation because what? You love your child.
Right.
So you manage them differently. Diggs, I guess, I couldn't think for the life of me of why he waited so long to, if he had to voice his opinion about, the direction of the organization as far as next season in particular. Maybe he wanted, like I say, he handled it differently. You know, he came and allegedly, you know, had a conversation, and you know, once everything got over, you know, it was just more like, okay, we're good. Like you can tell, looking at the highlights or you know the footage that seeing him practicing or whatever, you can tell he got whatever he needed off his chest or off his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can tell
And
how
I'm
people
pretty.
move when they get uh, all that stress or whatever is bothering them. You can tell when they get
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah,
So
and I'm pretty
that's
sure
just
he
what I.
wants to go into this season with a clear mind. You know, he don't want to go into the season with anything that went on last season. You know, to spill over into this season. So yeah,
Yeah,
I believe this was a conversation that needed to be had by both parties. I don't think it was as it was. I don't think it was anything personal. You know, I think the media tried to make all this such a personal issue when it was more so a principle. You see what I'm saying? I don't
yeah,
feel like it was anything personal that Diggs felt towards Sean McDermott or Josh Allen, but I think it was the principle. You know, I don't want to see you hanging your head low and we out here getting our ass whooped. You the quarterback. I want to see you rallying the troops like I'm rallying the troops. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We the leaders of this team, not just this offense. We the leader of this team. When they advertised the Buffalo Bills, they advertised Josh Allen along with Stefon Diggs. Them the main two you gonna see right there, you know. So I believe that Steph, he needed to get a lot off his chest, and it was an understanding there, you know, mutual understanding, no friction. And I believe that we might get the best season ever out of Stefon Diggs. I think it might be one of those situations like when Sammy Watkins had to speak up and finally say, "Hey, you got me here for a reason." You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
then you seen an immediate turnaround. I believe this right here is not a distraction; it's an eye opener. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that long. You see what I'm saying? We ain't got that long. I'm 30 now. You know,
yeah.
we
You're
got
right,
to get
bro.
this done. Yeah, we've been pitty patting around, letting people get by, letting people off the hook, letting people kick our ass. You know, in the type of elements that we supposed to thrive in. You know, and yeah, we got. It's just time to step up to the plate, put our big boy pants on, and play some ball. You know,
Yeah,
that conversation needed to be had.
yeah. And I'm glad he again allegedly had that conversation because that needed to be heard from Coach McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
Like he need for some reason it's like he need that. He
Yeah.
needed someone to um, what's the word I'm looking for? To shake up his mindset. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, like, you know, when we get mad at people, you know, for lashing out a certain type of way, if you just a lot of times if you just hear where they coming from, you have a better understanding on what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So again, it's one of those things that people handle things differently. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at the T.O. and McNabb situation. Like you said, Diggs came and play that game. T.O. racked up what 9 catches, a buck 22, something like that. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? And
that was one of the best Super Bowl performances I never seen in a loss in my life outside of maybe McNair and Eddie George in the Super Bowl they
Super Bowl,
lost to the
yeah,
Rams.
yeah. And I'm gonna say, like this dude had a broke what ankle,
But no,
fractured ankle.
he had a fractured tibula or fibula. It
Yeah,
came from a high ankle sprain, but he had a
yeah,
high ankle sprain and a fractured tibula or fibula from it.
yeah. So I mean, you know, but at the end of the day, you see how frustrated T.O. was after that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this situation is kind of similar,
Yeah, he
but
spoke a lot of truth after that game too. He spoke a
yeah,
lot of what don't get out of locker rooms after that game about how the condition that McNabb was in the fourth quarter down the stretch, physically suffering because he was having anxiety attack or something, out there about to throw up and stuff, and that's
I think
the
he did
last.
throw up.
You see what I'm saying? That's the wrong time to be like that in the most clutch game you gonna ever play in your life,
But see where Diggs coming from? That's the same difference. It's like no matter what we went through this season, like we prevailed. Now we're here at this moment and we choke.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, we still had the talent, even though we still had injury. We still had the talent to go to the Super Bowl. We still could have dialed some things up, and it probably wouldn't have been as dominant as if we were healthy, but it was a possibility. I didn't think we were going to go to the Super Bowl regardless. Not regardless, but, when those injuries came, I'm like, and how we were lack of execution. But at the end of the day, like, if you execute at a higher level, look at the Chiefs. They don't have a high-ranked defense, but they always, but they always make plays and make plays in big moments. You know what I'm saying?
And they had a ton of rookies on that team, and one thing they did, they stuck with those rookies all season, dealt with the bumps and bruises that came along with it, and by the time they won the Super Bowl, hey, they were jail. They were veterans by the time they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they played enough snaps. Right, they played enough snaps and ball to where they're not saying they played a great Super Bowl, but that could have looked way worse for rookie cornerbacks going up against those caliber receivers.
Absolutely. But again, this is where Diggs is coming from. Like, we're in a divisional round. We're 13-3. By the grace of God, we're 13-3. You know what I'm saying? And this is a big moment. Like you say, we show up, and a lot of people said it was down. It was other commentators that were saying that they was on the sideline with the Bills, and it was just like a lot of their energy was sucked out of them. You know what I'm saying? And again, you can sympathize all you want to about what happened, but you got to pick up the pieces and keep it moving, bro. And that's all my guy was trying to say, and that was his mindset. And if anything, use whatever happened as motivation. So, like I say, I just don't. I think Coach McDermott needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I think it was a gut check to him, and kudos to him for being a leader and accepting it, because he wasn't happy yesterday.
Oh, he wasn't
the first day of minicamp.
Yeah, and I honestly think that might have been a slip of the tongue. When he said he was concerned, that might have been something he might not have wanted to let slip out in the media. You know how tight-lipped Sean McDermott is. And I think the clarification today that he made might have been a PR type thing. They say, hey, you need to go out here and let them know that you meant something different than how the media took it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure what he said was genuine, but I'm also pretty sure that the head made him go and do that press conference. I don't think that was, huh?
And that's understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
one thing,
like I say, I appreciate the honesty, because when you're a leader of men, or you're a leader in your home, your word is your word. Like, how you are is how you are. Your standard is standard. How I approach the situation is how I'm gonna always approach the situation. Like, if he disappointed in something, it was, smack his wrist for being honest. Smack his wrist from having some type of emotion because of the BS, rather than dealing with BS in his mind. Like, bro, we could have, number one, we probably could have talked about this earlier. We could have talked about it before this. We got the whole season to prepare for. Like, we you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to stop the momentum, of continuously establishing a culture you know, over something that could have been handled beforehand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was necessary.
It really was.
Somebody got to shake you up, bro. Like, you know, you got to have a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, you know, we're 1/11th. You know, everybody is one day we get better each day, and one day at a time. You know, we get 1% better each day. Nah, man. Okay, let's scrap that for a second. You know what I'm saying? Those are our principles. Those are our principles. But man, we gotta develop a different mindset. It was times. It was one thing I'll let you talk. It was times in the season to where you notice, man, where you would hear them in the press conference, and they will continue to say, like, we struggle with our running game for 3 years. For 3 years, we struggle with our running game, and you know it. And you continuously hear it throughout the season. We just focus on getting better every day. We focus on getting better. Dude, it's week 11.
Right.
Like, now it's the execution issue. Like, what's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it took somebody to come in and be like, yo, man, this is how I feel about this. Like, we got to do something now. I understand it's a process, but, man, we gotta do something now.
Right. You know, honestly, like, since the McDermott era, who's challenged him? Who stepped up to McDermott and said, hey, man, this right here ain't cutting it up. Hey, we need to do, you know, I know he has an open door policy, but as far as in this type of manner, you know, we haven't had anybody to challenge him and his, I'm not saying challenge his authority or anything like that. Yeah, you know, but as far as challenge him, and that's what Stefon Diggs done. And like you said, I believe for McDermott, that's an eye opener. That's that fire that he needed lit, you know, to go ahead and get the ball back rolling again, you know. The hell with playoff caliber, even championship caliber. We need to just focus on winning this chip, period.
Talking cheap. We can wear the t-shirts, the hats. We can have the house painted and Super Bowl and damn all that brainwashing. Like, we need to develop a different mindset. And like, it has to be dominant.
Like, the clouds are filling up with t-shirts and ball caps. We you know, we need some trophies.
Yeah, we need some hardware. We need some moments. Like, you know, this needs to be like, man, you know what? You know, it's about time to bring Buffalo home a championship. We the laughing stock of the league in so many ways. You know, the laughing stock in the league when it comes to 4 Super Bowls in a row. We're the laughing stock in the league for being in the 17-year drought. We're the laughing stock in the league with D-Hop caught a ball over 3 of our all-pro defenders. Like, you know, we're laughing stock in the league when Kansas City whooped our ass in the AFC Championship. We're the laughing stock of the league in this past Bengals game. We're the laughing stock of the league when we lost the way we lost when we played Minnesota at home.
Don't forget about 13 seconds. Keep it going.
13 freaking seconds. Laughing stock of the league. Like, that was 2 years ago. People still talk about that. And it's like, when bad things happen to us, it's like the worst happens.
Yep, it's the worst shit all the time.
Yeah.
You right, man. You bring up that Minnesota game, man. I got to get up. You bring up that Minnesota game. We gave them that game twice. We came back and won the game twice and gave it right back to them twice. Who fumbles a snap on their own 1 yard line into the end? I've never seen it happen in my life. I ain't never seen it happen in Little League. I ain't never seen it happen in middle school ball. I ain't never seen it happen in high school, college. I mean, and then you get the lead back, and then to lose it in the manner that you do. I mean, I had never been under so much stress in such a short time period in my life. I swear to God, my blood pressure is shot through the roof. Then I get cold as ice. You know, I sit over there and be freezing because I don't know what's about to happen. Then next thing you know, some more dumb shit go on, and then I'm cussing at the TV again. You know, I mean, it was just an up and down roller coaster. And once the game was over, I think I was on bed rest the rest of that day. I couldn't even get up and do nothing. I couldn't. I couldn't take care of my kids. They was all over the place. You know, so I was just out of hell after that Minnesota game. I think I knew then we wasn't gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you talking about emotionally draining. That one game by itself drained us.
So and that's just like the years and years of this, you know.
I know it. This
I honestly never thought we'd be in this position, you know, before the Josh Allen era. I'm not saying I gave up hope, but I'm like, man, it's been this long. I don't even see a glimmer of hope happening. And now that we done got back to the so-called promised land, we can't scratch the surface, man.
Yeah. We almost scratched it, but our nails ain't long enough.
They was soft because they was wet. They just broke.
Oh my god. Hey, yeah, you're right, man. But at the end of the day, like, you know, this is the stuff that we're talking about, and I'm thankful that Diggs was the one to do it. Yeah. Like, you know, I've heard, and I'm glad we waited to have this show, because, you know, sometimes, you know, we as fans get caught up in a lot of the speculation because, you know, we think in our minds, we think what was really going on. Like, even though certain things played out the way it did, you know, it happened differently than what other people perceive. So right. Like, let's go back to, like, for example, when Brennan Bean does free agency. You know what I'm saying? When we don't hear anything or have anything to speculate on, we assume. And then we're going to assume we're going to get a receiver. We assume that we're going to get a linebacker. And then we assume, and then when they start making these moves, it's like we don't understand.
Right, because they're not doing the moves that we have in our head already. Absolutely. You know, and it's almost like we feel like they going against the grain of what you know, yeah. Like our thought process is obligation one.
Yeah, I know. But that's the way of the world, man. That's just the way of the world. And then a lot of people, you know, when this Diggs thing happened, it was, he's being disgruntled, and oh man, I think minicamp coming up, so let's see if he's gonna show up.
Yeah,
but when he did show up, first of all, when he wasn't there, it was already trade him. This. But then reports came back out and said, he was there Sunday, got his physical, did everything the Bills needed him to do. You know, felt like it was the right time to have a meeting. You know, so at the end of the day, man, I'm glad it happened. Like I said, I had my own speculation because, you know, I have my own speculation about Diggs myself when it came to him. You know, to me, it was more like, you know, you throwing a tantrum when you doing like cryptic messages, and, you know, and then like people buying into, you know what I'm saying? It was like a little game. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I don't like playing games. Like,
right.
You know, or speaking innuendos. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people will say, you know, man, you know, don't feed into stuff like that, because that's just somebody that's saying stuff, and other people continue to speculate it and read between the lines and blow it out of proportion. So like I say, man, you know, for me, it was like I fed into that myself, and my mindset has been like, yo, if you ain't happy, then dip. That's
Right.
always been, in everything I do. I'm like, if you ain't happy, dip. So there's always somebody out there that we can get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm not innocent when it comes to that, but it was great that him coming to our leadership in our front office. And I say I'm just speculating. So I'm still speculating because I really don't know how it all unfolded. But listen to the Josh Allen and Von Miller interviews. It was more like it had to be that because they were talking about internal. I can do things better, and we see where he's coming from, and stuff like that. So that there was a conversation.
Yeah. Me
Of
personally.
concern.
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I just said it was a conversation of concern. That's all.
Yeah. Me personally, as far as the social media stuff and all that, I viewed that a little differently, man. It's just that this generation is just different, man. These young guys, they go about handling their business different than we do or did, or however you want to look at it. They do little stuff like that to try to, I guess, get their way in some sort of way. But I the stuff that Diggs was posting, it was almost like, man, you need to just take that with a grain of salt. This dude post stuff during the season that had you scratching your head, and he'll tell you himself, like, don't buy into nothing that I post on social media. He say sometimes I just post stuff just to be, so I just took that as a grain of salt, man. I feel like he's a true alpha, especially compared to the guys that's on our roster. He might be the alpha of the team, So I just viewed him like, this dude is a stand-up guy. Whatever he need to do, it ain't gonna be handled in the public eye anyway. He's a very private person. And I just knew, like I said, I didn't sweat about it. I feel like anytime he's on the field, he works hard enough to perfect his craft and to be elite, that he's going to show up regardless, how he's feeling, on a personal level. He's going to play, So, some guys, when they get frustrated like that, it affects they play on the field. I don't think that ever happened with Stefon Diggs. Hell, it proved in Minnesota. He was still a dog regardless, how he felt about, the situation that he was in there. But I don't think it's that either, Like I say, I think it's more so principle over personal, and they done got everything squared away. And he might, like I say, have the best season he ever had in his career.
Yeah. Or they may have the best season ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen, he might come out. He might be gunning around 70% completion percentage on the season. I truly believe that. If he can stay healthy, and if he is locked in as he say he is, I think he can he can hover around that 70% mark and get that interceptions down to 10 or less. He can do that. He's capable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's all I have on him, man. I'm excited, about the direction that we're looking to go. I'm excited. Usually it'd be like more either offense or defense, and it's both. And I'm just excited. Year 2 Dorsey, got McDermott mentoring this young coaching group. Eventually one of them is going to start calling plays. So it's definitely gonna be exciting to watch unfold. And plus the addition of our new pieces. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I need to get off my chest, man. I think Coach Eric Washington, man, is an overrated coach.
Yeah.
I really don't think he's a good defensive line coach. I just had to get that off my chest. Somebody needs to say something about this. I felt like I needed to say it. Eric Washington. I mean, he'll hide behind Coach McDermott, We better go to Carolina. But Coach McDermott's running the show, bro.
Right.
And I think, and this is lack of development from our young defensive linemen. We don't have bad edge rushers. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't.
So you got Boogie, you got AJ, Russo's like, he Russo improved from 4 to 8. Russo's a 10 to 12 sack per year type of player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I just don't think that, he probably I just don't think he's that much of a good. I think he's the weak link of our coaches.
It showed once McDermott left Carolina, how he went downhill. And I believe was he the defensive coordinator for Arizona the year that Wilkes was there? I'm not sure, but Eric Washington, man, I feel the same as you do about that, man. For the type of defensive talent that we have on that line, it doesn't show up week in and week out. And it's almost like, why would you run that scheme? Why would you run that front in this down and distance? And they finna gash us. Why are you slanting? You know what I'm saying? Or why are you, doing certain things in situations to where, our nickel back is now one-on-one with a fullback or a guard that's pulling because of how they're running the fronts. Sometimes it will baffle me so much. You're already running a 4-2 front. And now, because of the way that the offense is shifting with motion, your linebacker is now covering the slot, and your slot guy is now inside the box, in the tackle box. That's a win situation for the offense every single time. Taron Johnson is not even 200 pounds, man. I mean, like, come on. Yeah, he's solid. He's good against the run and all that. Okay, but yeah, that's not going to work against a team that's willing to run at you because they know your personnel, that you're not going to change your personnel. We've seen it clearly. If Green Bay would have came out with that mentality that they had in the second half, we would have lost that game. Exactly. We couldn't stop it. We couldn't stop it. Yeah, and they were doing the same thing. They kept bringing somebody in motion to the strong side to where the linebackers would have to shift down, bring Taron Johnson in the box, and they kept running around. I mean, it was just. I'm like, if I see this,
hard to watch.
Yeah,
hard to watch.
Like where's the adjustment at? Yeah. Where's the adjustment? We finna get out of this zone look because now they clearly are running the ball. When you have a defensive player asking Aaron Rodgers, "Hey man, why y'all are running every play? Y'all not passing no more?" Come on, man. It's just like you say, it's hard to watch, man.
Hard to watch, and Eric Washington is part of that. So I hope, and this is my beef with him. Is like, you have somebody like Ed Oliver. First, why you need to bring Kyle Williams in his first year? Like, you need to coach this dude. Like, it's his fourth year, fifth year, right? His fifth year, and you still saying Ed Oliver need to play the game up here? But you've been his coach for a few years,
right?
Like, why is it year 5 and your defensive line is staying at about his player? To me, it sounds like a puppet. Dude is there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got AJ, you got Boogie. Like, these guys should be put in better situations and schemes where they can make plays. Now you got them feeling discouraged because you feel like they seem like they're incompetent. I think it's the coach.
Yeah, it is.
Terrible defensive line coach.
Yep.
Eric Washington. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. For real, I agree. I'm right there with you, big dog.
Oh man, that's funny, man.
Oh, hey, one more bit of news before we get out of here. Glad to hear that Von Miller saying he 100% at this moment, because in my eyes, if he's 100%, I don't think he's just saying that. a doctor has had to told him something, he will be ready to go by week 1. Not that we need him week 1, but I'm saying he must be feeling awfully good to be this far out in front of the season, and he's saying he's 100% healthy.
Hey man, like I said, hey, if he's able to go, we need to go ahead and play him, not pity pat around like we did.
Oh yeah. You right with that. You right with that. He done done it. He done done it before, man. And we done seen guys like this. Von Miller's not your typical human being. He's not built like your typical, 6'3", 250-pound guy. He looks like a 220-pound, 225-pound guy walking around in street clothes. You know what I'm saying? So he's a true freak of nature, So I can honestly believe that he might be, at least 90% healed right now. You know what I'm saying? It would not shock me one bit.
Yeah. So we'll see, though. I say just lower his snap counts and let him develop throughout the year. And, if he say he can go and the doctor say he can go, why not? The way I see it.
Yeah, he got plenty of dogs. He got plenty of dogs backing him. Hoof, hoof, hoof. He got plenty of dogs backing him. He got plenty of them backing him off that edge.
Yeah. So it is what it is, though. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, man, that's our show, man. I think it was a good one. Everybody don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and feel free to leave a comment.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let us know how we do on the show. You can leave a comment about the Diggs situation, or how we feel about it, or how we feel about Coach Eric Washington. Just leave a comment.
Yeah, if you agree or disagree.
Let's do it. So anyway, man, that's our show. We appreciate all our subscribers, or even all our viewers. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time out, to peep out our show, and hopefully you subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll keep this thing rolling, man. So I'm your boy TG, my boy Nature Boy, Top Billing. We out of here.
Holla.